lush and lively forest, there lived all kinds of birds. There were nightingales with their sweet and melodious songs, swifts with their vigorous postures that could dash through the air at high speed, and peacocks with their gorgeous feathers whose displays amazed everyone around. In the hollow of an ancient oak tree, on the edge of the forest, lived a little gray bird. Everyone called it Ashi. Ashi was a bit chubby, and its feathers were dull in color. It always flapped its wings more laboriously than other birds when flying, and its chirping wasn't that pleasant, either, so it was often laughed at by other birds. When they gathered together to learn flying skills, Ashi was always the slowest learner. It either couldn't keep its balance well, or couldn't turn as gracefully as its companions. Those difficult maneuvers were even more impossible for it. Spring came, and the grand flying dog competition was about to be held in the forest. The winner would become the guardian messenger at the sacred tree in the forest, which was a great honor. All the birds were actively preparing for this competition, and Ashi was also eager to participate. However, Dog wouldn't join the training team. It was greeted with a burst of laughter.
"With your clumsy look, you still want to take part in the competition. Don't hold us back,"
said a little bird with green feathers, curling its beak. Ashi blushed, quietly stepped aside, and tears welled up in its eyes. But deep in its heart, a little voice was shouting, "I also want to give it a try." From that day on, every day before dawn, Ashi got up quietly, went to the open grassland alone to practice taking off and landing. It fell down time and time again, but still flapped its wings again and again. When practicing gliding, it was blown off course by the strong wind, and crashed into tree branches, getting dizzy. When practicing fast flying, thought it couldn't break in time, and plunged headlong into the bushes, with its feathers in a mess. But Ashi didn't give up. It carefully observed the flying postures of other birds, corrected its own problems bit by bit. Also asked the old tortoise in the forest how to take advantage of air currents. Learned from the squirrel the trick of keeping balance in the air. Day by day passed, and the flying competition finally began. On the competition field, the colorful birds showed off their skills. The audience cheered and applauded. When it was Ashi's turn, there were whispers in the audience, but it took a deep breath and flew steadily. At first, its speed wasn't fast, but relying on the skills it had mastered through long-term practice, it skillfully avoided the interference of air currents, gradually overtook many opponents. In the final sprint stage, Ashi exerted all its strength, and crossed the finish line first, by a narrow margin. The whole place was silent for an instant, and then there was a thunderous applause. Ashi looked at the cheering animals, with proud tears shining in its eyes. Once the little bird that was laughed at as clumsy had written a new legend in the forest with its perseverance, and also let everyone understand that as long as one has a dream in the heart and takes the first step, even the most ordinary life can shine brightly.